this fucking guy, whoever he was clearly like stealing from like his neighbors or somewhere up top. You know, he had like, nuggets and shit from like silver ore that I guess they were digging out of the mines and all kinds of shit of value, just all kinds of shit. They had like gemstones and enchanted, items on top of that, like fucking, helms and, that were like +2 helm of, protection or some shit like that. He had a fucking +2 pickaxe. Like, what the fuck? Weird shit. Fucking, a hammer of thundering. A fucking, a small sword. It was a short sword of like, oh, what was it? I know it was like a +1, but it had something else on it, what it was is that they unsheathed it. No, that was the knife. He had a dagger that was like it. The blade on it was like it was like like a ghost touch sort of thing, right? Where it's like you can kill like ghosts and shit with like you cut a ghost with it, right? And the short sword I think was a short sword of sundering. As like a +1 short sword of sundering, yeah, right? And then he had a gauntlet, like a single like gauntlet, that did something else. I don't even remember what. All kinds of shit, right? And among all this stuff, and clearly he was stealing it because it was in his floorboards, and the only reason why they noticed this is because when the mine had collapsed in, it collapsed a part of this guy's roof in, along with all of his like neighbors' houses. This guy's house was like the house in the middle of all the other houses, and somehow out of luck was the only one to survive the collapse, right? But it collapsed a chunk of his roof in, and then like one of the support beams to his roof went through the guy's floorboards, and that's the only reason why they found this stash of shit. And amongst this stash of shit was this like teleportation like crystal, and it's like this thing where like if you touch it and you think about where you want to go, it'll teleport you, at least 100 miles in that direction, right? So this is basically their out, right? And this is like the horde at the end of the fucking game. Only it's really weird because it's like there's not normally, you'd find yourself going up against like an end boss or whatever, but I think Duncan initially scrapped whatever like rousing, final boss sort of encounter we could have had. Normally there's a big to-do sort of encounter at the end of like, the main portion of this, of the game, right? But I think with Duncan and Terry being the only two left, he just decided to scrap that, right? And I was like, there's no way they're going to live, with some fucking encounter, right? Especially not if, like, it's something along the lines of, like, some kind of fucking flesh golem made out of pieces of zombie scourge, dwarves and Draugr and fucking lobotomized, orcs and shit that have just formed together into this, like, nasty undead flesh golem or whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's what that was. That would just have been my guess, right? So, I guess we'll never know, really. But so yeah, this is officially they're out. Is this crystal of teleportation, right? And so they basically gather all this fuck guy's stuff. They fucking get like the sheets and shit, like blankets and sheets from this fucking guy's house, and they pile all this shit in the middle of them, and they fucking wrap his shit up, and they blink out of there, right? They teleport out of there. Blinking and teleporting are two different things. I shouldn't have said it that way, but whatever. They teleport out of there, right? And they teleport onto the top of this mountain, or the current mountain that they're on. They're on the top of it. They're outside, fresh air. Fucking, they finally made it, right? And then Grimyal, David's character, is like, he puts his sack down, and he's like, I draw my sword. And Jerry's like, what? And Duncan's like, what? And he's like, my character Grimyal challenges Argos to fucking combat. It's like, what the fuck? And he's like, he's pissed off. His fucking livelihood is gone. His two best friends are fucking dead. He's settling the score. He needs this fucking loot to start his life over again, and he's not handing any of it over or dividing any of it between the guy who got his two friends killed and destroyed his fucking livelihood. And so they're like, oh my god, alright, I guess. And so the ending fight is actually between our two survivors, and Grimyal is just coming at him with everything he's fucking got, right? He's flinging, lightning and fire through his fucking sword. He's trying to do whatever he can to fucking kill him, and fucking Argos is just like, fucking stop it. Fucking stop it. And so he doesn't stop it, and so basically there's this thing where it's like command word, right? And he uses that on Grimyal, and he says, halt. And he's like, are you gonna fucking stop it? And Grimyal's like, never. And so the next command word is flee. And Grimyal is right on the edge of the mountain, and he is forced to flee. So he flees off the mountain. The end. Yeah, the fucked up kind of ending. Very Quentin Tarantino-esque, but hey, that's how it goes.